have responded in their numbers.
Mustafa Dabo spoke at length on the need to address issues of climate change, arguing that the Gambia being a country where the overwhelming majority have their livelihoods dependent entirely on climate sensitivity activities. It is therefore not difficult to understand why climate change should be a concern for authorities.
We in the Gambia are very concerned with the current and future states of the climate, because in spite of our well-meaning efforts to achieve our national vision, alleviate poverty in our midst, and meet the MDG targets, the climate stands to undermine our achievements and constitutes one of the main obstacles to our progress. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the President, Sir Professor Alhaji Dr. Yaya AJJ Jammeh, has realized the high stakes in being fed from outside one's country and had since issued the policy statement entitled, "Back to the land, eat what you grow." This call has been greatly adhered to by the people of the Gambia. However, the results of their efforts do not commensurate with the level of investment and determination, the main stumbling block being the climate.
With the understanding that less endowed countries, including the Gambia, are certainly more vulnerable to climate change, Dabo further maintained that the tree planting exercises initiated by the Jammeh administration should be enjoyed by all and sundry, since trees are vital in the fight against climate change.
Hazards of climate origin affect all countries of the world. Since the Sahelian drought in the late 1960s and early 70s, the Gambia, which hosted the summit of heads of state of the affected countries, culminating in the establishment of the Permanent Interstate Committee for Control of Drought in the Sahel, SILS, we have come to accept the hard reality that the climate, though a major resource for our livelihood and development, has also become a major threat to lives, livelihoods, and properties.
Dabo also used the forum to urge Gambians to always update themselves with the daily weather forecast broadcast on television to plan their activities so as to possibly avoid costly surprises. Aside from finalizing its national adaptation program of action on climate change and currently implementing one of the priority interventions called the strengthening of the Gambia's climate change early warning system, this recent sensitization of lawmakers on this universal issue is yet another manifestation of the authorities' quest in mitigating the threat and impact of climate change and its attendant problems in the country. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The Director of Forestry, Ablaye Sane, has spoken about the importance of peace and reconciliation during a conciliatory tree planting exercise by the communities of Ndemban and Sumida in the West Coast region. Samuel Ba reports over 11,000 seedlings were planted at a colorful ceremony which brought together closely knitted communities nearly after a decade of dispute.
Over 1,000 volunteers from the West Coast villages of Somita and Demban Saturday converged on the Kumbeng Community Forest Park for a reconciliation tree planting exercise. The exercise, which follows a recently held friendly football match, is also meant to reunite the once closely knitted communities following a decade-long dispute over this widely claimed successful community forest.
As an association, we also deem it fit that if people should come to a table and then accept to reconcile and just stops there, then it means there may be certain hidden agendas that are not cleared. But the best way to strengthen that reconciliation process is for them to interact. And the best way for them to interact is for us to divert our tree planting exercise this year and dedicate it to a reconciliation tree planting exercise.
For Alkali Nyasi, the President's intervention in the reconciliation process of the once united communities is timely. To him, a sense of reunion has been amply demonstrated during the joint exercise. For the Director of Forestry Department, Abdullah Alfa Sane, the Kumbeng Community Forest was the pioneer project of community forest regeneration in the Gambia. Sane, who also served in the area as a forestry officer, described the forest as one of the best community forests in the country due to its resource-based potentials. He was full of praises for President Jammeh, describing him as a father of truth and justice, a master of peace and stability, and a doctor of the poor, sick, and needy.
I told the nation and the world at large that President Jammeh is a father of truth and justice. President Jammeh is a master of peace and stability. He is also a doctor of the poor and the sick. And today I have been proven. A misunderstanding that has been going on over the years, maybe more than 8 years. minimum 8 years between Somita and Demban. So just a simple thing.
The governor of the West Coast region recounted the series of activities undertaken following the presidential ultimatum for the two communities to settle their differences. Governor Sane and a number of other speakers are convinced that peace has once again been restored between a people that shares a common ancestry and intermarried amongst themselves.
Today we are here in full force. We have the alcalos of the areas are here. We have the city MP who is here, and all the chiefs of these areas are all here. Always the chairman of the area council, Sunkaribadi. So really it's a big thing, and I think His Excellency the President has a vision, has a mission that definitely, if we cherish it, we can live at least harmoniously as one family.
I'm very much impressed because this is a very, very cooperative thing. There was cooperation between these two villages, but come some time ago, there was a difference between them. When the president had a meeting at block, he realized that there is a difference between these two communities. So he decided to tell the people so that they can come together. And today I am very, very much impressed because the people of Somita and Demban, they all came out in large numbers.
There have been so many tree planting exercises recently across the country, but this one has its importance transcended beyond improving our vegetative cover and greener environment. Its special role today is to bring peace and harmony between two closely knitted communities that have been set apart for many years. It adds up to the fact that such community-driven undertakings could have a variety of vital benefits. For GRTS News, I am Samuel Ba.
The National Youth Parliament has concluded a week-long nationwide road safety campaign with the painting of road traffic signs in Banjul. The initiative, as we hear in this report by Maud Lamin Sise, is part of celebrations marking the UN-proclaimed Decade of Action on Road Safety.
The traffic is indispensable in the movement of goods and services, but the other side of it is unbearably negative, and that is the many road accidents it causes. More often than not, youths are the victims, something members of the National Youth Parliament feel should be ground to a halt. And in pursuit of that dream, the body on Monday carved up a nationwide road safety campaign with a painting exercise of traffic signs here in Banjul.
If you look at the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia, we have strategic areas of intervention, and among them is road safety and environmental protection. As a result of that, every time we look around to see what do we do to be able to realize our strategic areas of intervention. And we came up with this idea to say, okay, there is need to embark on a nationwide tree planting exercise alongside a road safety campaign.
Road accidents are one of the leading preventable causes of death among young people, a situation that has prompted the United Nations to proclaim a decade of action on road safety. But how crucial a role will this painting of traffic signs play in efforts to make roads safe for users?
You are trying to perhaps renovate what has already been done. What changes is it going to make on our streets?
Well, one is if you paint something, if you paint road signs per se, you're increasing the visibility. If drivers are driving on the road, they'll be able to see, do you understand? It will be more visible because already these paints are made, but then they need to be repainted so they can be more visible. So that's one point. Do you understand? And we try to collaborate with the National Roads Authority. They send an engineer to direct us as to how we do this painting because we want that visibility to be there. And also, since this is a city, we want to contribute to its beautification. Of course, we have seen the city lights. So this will also contribute. If they are painted and they are nice, they are new, that contributes to the beautification of the city.
Okay. As the campaign continues, losses of lives are still being recorded. The source always been traffic crashes and accidents.
Of recent, just yesterday, I lost one of my colleagues in a road traffic accident, and we are also very shocked with regards to that, and we are seeing how best the road can be very much safer for everybody who want to use the roads.
Okay. It is a fairly new dream in Gambian advocacy circles. However, UN stimulus is a backer. With the available incentives, where does the National Youth Parliament want to head with this campaign? Safe roads, according to the Youth Parliament, are achievable, but the goal they set is only possible if the many road users comply with traffic signs such as speed limits and other campaign messages